Happy New Year from LOA, the channel where we talk about all things law of attraction. And I want to take this opportunity of starting off the year with something that might help you obtain your goals. We all make our goals and New Year's resolutions in the beginning of the year, but I would like to do goal setting LOA style and make it have a little bit of a metaphysical twist. We've all heard of SMART goals where they have to be measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. So it's going to be very similar to that, but I'm just going to add on a metaphysical layer so you can continue to stay on your journey and watch your inner journey through vibration, momentum, and your emotions. So I've got 5 tips that I want to just quickly go through, and maybe you can get something out of it to achieve your goals this year. So the first one I'd like to go over is knowing thyself. Know thyself is really getting down into being honest with whatever has been a roadblock for you in the past. It's been a bit of a hardship, and also really knowing what is the inner dialogue and the script that you say about the goal you're going to achieve. So for instance, I'm going to use the most quintessential New Year's resolution of losing weight to use as an example through these 5 steps. So with losing weight, if you're trying to examine your inner script, are you already saying things that have made you fail or remembering about failing in the past? Like, every time I start a diet, this peers at work always end up bringing donuts to work. Or I always go in really hard but give up in 2 weeks. Are you allowing an inner script to write your future? Pay attention to this and actually rewrite a script that you can practice reading and getting your mind used to thinking a new way. A lot of people use this technique. I have not used this technique as far as actually writing it out, but I have made a conversation that I do repeat to myself from time to time. So you can be literal about it and actually write a script that shows yourself successful and at the end of your journey accomplishing whatever you desire. And then also when you think about roadblocks, face these, get real with them so you can plan and prepare to overcome them. Treat them like old habits that they're no longer your problem. But you can't do that until maybe you're real with them or replace them with a good habit. So knowing that you might struggle with eating out and staying on your plan, temporarily don't eat out until you get to the place where you can overcome that battle. Build up your inner script that I actually love the healthy choices I can get at a restaurant. You know, I can't make a salad like they do at such and such restaurant. So start changing the inner dialogue that will help you, your body follow suit. That's tip 1. Just really know yourself. Get real with it. Get raw and honest so you can make those changes. Number 2, I'm actually going to quote Florence Scovel Shinn, and she talks about preparation is prayer. You get what you prepare for, and it proves where your beliefs are. You will do and prepare what you believe is possible. So start off with a great plan and prepare for things to make you succeed. For instance, if I continue with the thoughts of losing weight, prepare meals, prepare for snacks for those little times that you might get off of schedule and have to stay somewhere later, or somebody invite you out quickly. Prepare for these things in advance, but also mentally prepare and really create a path for a current to just take you, for you to just go down the stream of allowing through, I talked about scripting just previously, but there's also affirmations to keep yourself motivated and in the moment and aware of your goal. So think of affirmations that really inspire you and motivate you. There's also vision boards, plan things you will do for rewards of goals met. There's a lot of things you can do to make victories out of these successes, because if you really look at the overall goal and it's too daunting and too big, it's best to plan out pivotal steps to create time to celebrate. And that brings me into my third tip. So the third one is what I call momentum moments. Celebrate those successes, or anytime you really recognize you're feeling good, so you can repeat the pattern that created that feeling or the action that created that feeling. And the attitude of praise and gratitude goes a long ways. It will carry you further, especially if we keep on the theme of dieting. That can start to get redundant and slow if you aren't introducing excitement and successes, and reward yourself wisely. But I also want to talk about here that some people interpret failure or falling off the wagon as the opposite of success, as failure. But all of those things are actually successes. And if you learn to grace yourself and really be aware of those moments, you can see them that way and transform it into information that will unlock maybe why you're making certain behavior and decisions. Maybe you're on a loop, on a rinse and repeat, and you always kind of get to the same plateau and give up. Don't let that be the old news. Let it be a time to dig in and ask, why do I always get challenged here? What am I really dealing with? And unpack it. And that could be a super duper breakthrough. And that's why I want you to look at times of challenging emotions, or even just falling off of your goal or the steps you have created for your goal. See them as a success, because it's a time to investigate, to getting out your roadblocks, or facing fears, or getting rid of old subconscious scripts that don't serve you. So that, if you don't agree, let's talk. But that is really a success. So I want you to not be hard on yourself. All right, so the next step I call celebrate contrast. It really goes hand in hand with the previous tip, but it is important to stand on its own. So, because contrast can come up different as failure, but we might often look at it the same. But contrast might be that you are just feeling the opposite of where you want to go. So you might be, maybe an old news feed comes up of you looking really thin in the past or really heavy, and that will cause contrast in you, or whatever your trigger is. So don't use that to abuse you. Use it to be a message to remind you of your desires, and run with your desires. Let it energize you and motivate you. Yes, I want to get to that goal again. I did it before, I can do it again. Or if it was the alternate, I want to change that, and I can. So contrast really reminds you of what you're on the journey for, and it's usually nudges you right before you might be ready to give up or lose track. So these are really just ways to bump you back into line if you really stay aware and use them for your benefit. Okay, we're at the last step, and the last step I call taking your vibrational vitals. Now, you all have been interacting and using the law of attraction long enough to know you have to be a vibrational match to what you're trying to attract. So if you're not attracting what you want, you're not a vibrational match. So you need to find ways to become a vibrational match for what you want. So whatever that goal is, but for the sake of this video, I will stay consistent and talk about weight loss. If I want to lose weight, I need to make sure that I am not body shaming. I am not even shaming food, calling certain things bad and evil and horrible. Everything's fine in moderation. And I just need to learn what's good for my body. And you start talking to yourself, I am every day getting closer to my goal. And just talk yourself into a vibrational match where your energy is open to your goal. And also another way to be a vibrational match is seeing yourself as if it has already happened. Imagine yourself already shopping for the size clothes that you want and how good you're going to look in them and how healthy you're going to feel, and you're going to be very limber, whatever those thoughts are going to be, to make you already feel like it's already happened. You got to remember to be a match to what's coming. You can't think of yourself in the past. You got to think of yourself at the end as it already has happened. So that is just a quick outline of 5 things you can do to stay on track with whatever goals you set this year. And I wish that you meet them all, and along the way find more so your year is more than you planned. I kind of like to sum it all up with an analogy of using the Wizard of Oz. If you think of the story of Wizard of Oz, Dorothy is on the way to get home, and that's all of us are trying of the journey to become our best selves and feel home here on earth, right? To bring heaven here on earth and have a higher consciousness of who we are. So along the ways, she meets the Tin Man, which is the heart. We need to have the heart to be successful on this journey. She meets the Lion, who is the spirit of the courage to do things. And she also meets the Scarecrow, which is the mind. So we need our spirit, mind, and heart to do this, but also be aware of those flying monkeys, which could be our egos, past thoughts and past failures, friends, people that disagree with us, people that don't have the best intentions for us. I mean, those come from so many places, those darn flying monkeys. But if you are staying on the yellow brick road to the higher calling, to go see the great wisdom of Oz, you'll do it. Just stay close to your heart and use your thoughts to attract, and use your spirit and your emotions to keep you going down that road. So I end on that note, hoping that you find what you're looking for somewhere over the rainbow, and that you enjoy the journey within.